Dear brother and sister, the saints in Christ, welcome to a new episode. This is a new episode regarding the Passion Week rituals, history, and the errors over times like happened to it. I'm wearing like as if it is the Passion Week. And just before I start the episode, just a quick reminder to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share the video on your social media and like it, that would be great. There is a clip for Father Athanasius Al-Makary. Of course it is in Arabic. I leave the link in the description, but however we watch part of it today. Before I start, I would like to remind you that the Lord Jesus Christ said the following: and in vain they worship me, teaching doctrines, the commandments of men. So the Lord, this is in Matthew 15:9. So the Lord says those people are worshiping me in vain because they're teaching what? Doctrines which are the commandments of men, not of God, not the Bible. All right? Because you will see all these are teachings of men. The Lord mentioned to Moses exactly what to do as a system in worshiping. But as you will see, if you understand the Arabic, please watch the Arabic one. It will be like more rich than the English one because it's my second language. First thing, about I think 8 years ago, I put a post. Of course, it was in Arabic. I read it too, but maybe you wouldn't understand it easily. However, I'll explain it like at the end of it. Okay. What a great day in the history of this nation. They celebrate it, and they even wait for it with bated breath every year. Places of worship in all parts of the world are draped in black. Fasting is strictly performed. Many men wear special clothing that expresses sadness and sorrow, and so do most children. As for men, they are draped in black from the top of their heads to their toes. And makeup on that day is an unforgivable sin. It is a day of great sadness. Talking is just humming in a low voice out of respect to the commemorate of the death of someone who was killed treacherously and betrayed by the hands of his relatives and loved ones. Many men in many parts of the world torture their bodies to share in his pain, and the majority of women wail over him and beat their chests. The sad prayers continue from the early morning till sunset, after which everyone returns with their heads bowed after being exhausted by fasting and ceremonies of sadness, sorrow, and bitterness throughout the day, waiting for the memorial to be held next year. The stories and YouTube clips of blood flowing from the holy forehead and pure eyes are endless. Whom do you think I was talking about? Everyone will say, this is about the Good Friday. Nah. It is about a day in Islamic, the Shia Muslim people, they celebrate it every year, called Day of Ashura, which is, in these days, they celebrate the death or the killing of Hussein, who is the grandson of Muhammad, the Prophet of Muslims, in Battle of Karbala. But he died, but did not rise, so they have to do this. But Jesus rose from the dead. That's why in the Bible normally you will find both are linked together. Even Lord Jesus, the Son of Man, will be delivered, will be crucified, died, and in 3 days he will rise again. All right, and this is what Father Athanasius Al-Makary will mention, that normally it is like that, and they will mention that all what is happening now and put all these black stuff. I said this is totally not biblical and even not the law of the church, but just someone did it and now it grew up like a big tree. And I would add from my side, and who dares to say let's correct it, or whatever. Anyway, the whole thing is wrong. So this is wouldn't make a big difference whether it is there or not. The whole thing is based on lies, as you might know. That was the first point in this episode. So they do the same thing for the one that actually died and didn't rise. Anyway, second point, we're talking now about some reactions for some stuff that is totally wrong and the church still loves it. All right, and I'll show you a few different responses that I have seen myself. All right, now if you go to the book, it's in Arabic, دقائق for Father Athanasius of St. Macarius, in page 37 and page 44, we'll find the following. He was talking about the resources of the rituals of the church. Of course, it is not the Bible, but some stuff, they say it is attributed to the apostles, but falsely, by the way. All right. So like the Didascalia, Apostolic Tradition, Hippolytus Laws, Coptic Apostolic Tradition, and many other stuff. He says, even if they were written down by other than the apostles, like the books of the New Testament, but in reality they deserve to be attributed to the apostles. Can you believe this? Can you believe someone says the Bible or the Gospel that was written by Matthew is attributed falsely to Matthew, but not Matthew wrote it? Now they kept trying to find out who actually wrote it. Right? So, or I put it in other words. So someone applies for a job. He works for company A, and he said, I'm the engineering manager or accounting manager. He works in the company, that's right. But actually he's the office boy. And he applies for that. Then you find out and say, yeah, but I'm working in this company. And yes, every morning I go inside, I give the coffee to the managing director. Oh, my goodness. Of course, this is wrong. Or someone comes like to marry your daughter, and he tells you something actually, but he's lying. Will you buy this? Or, you know, someone says, I get you a car. In the olden days, anyway, just one of the cars, and they would say, I'll put the emblem of BMW on it. And no, it is exactly like the BMW. In what sense? It has 4 wheels like the other one. It has a gearbox. It has a steering wheel, and it got also lights, and it will take you from A to B. So it is a car, and you can see it has 4 wheels like the other one. So let's put this emblem on it, and we'll sell it to you as it's BMW, and you pay the price for a BMW or Mercedes car or Jaguar. Will you buy this? Some people will buy it. This is what he said. So first of all, it is okay to attribute it falsely to the apostles. What sort of credibility this would be? Zero. If someone tells you that, zero. Will you buy it? Unfortunately, most of the people will buy it. Very rare those will say, no, I will not buy this. Nah, I will not swallow it. I must go back to my Bible. I hope that 1% will do this. We haven't finished yet. They deserve, how come? Deserve to be attributed to the apostles? I would say they deserve to be falsely attributed to the apostles, as they reflect to us the apostolic tradition. Who told you that actually it reflects the apostolic tradition? In the English reference books, by the way, about this stuff, they say they are not known who wrote them, nor the place where they were written, nor the time they were being written. So there is no guarantee that these books are actually reflecting anything that during the apostles' time, like the 1st century. Absolutely not. Mostly, they said mostly from the language been written in the 4th century. Once 4th century, now you are definitely already in the darkness of the church. All right, let's continue. As they reflect the apostolic tradition, no, they are not. You don't have any proof of this. As it was lived in the era of the apostles, how do you know this? You don't have the originals even. Anyway, let's continue. And the ages, one second. while the originals are not lost. And the ages immediately following them, of course not. And for this reason, they are worthy of serious study. Okay, worthy for serious study. And after that, should drop them in the bin. No, 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 no. And taking what is in them. Bad luck. I wouldn't buy this. All right. I wouldn't buy this. That's why this father is there. But thank you very much for all what he's done, by the way. This is so much light for those who are seeking truth. Next one. During like the last quarter of 2023, I met one of my friends. We are very loving friends. I used to be his supervisor, like Khidma, back ages in the church, and now he is a priest. And I showed him. Of course he knows that I left, and of course he's very surprised because I was a very tough Orthodox at that time. During many years, tens of years. Anyway, I showed him this, and he said, "But Mr. Sami, but he says we should take what's in them." I told him, he says that we should take what's in them, although they are not really reflecting anything. They are falsely attributed the apostles. So this is by itself to attribute something to the apostles, to cheat me. I should kick you out, full stop. Anyway, of course he's a priest. He must defend this stuff, so he wouldn't listen to this. But he will try to find something. Yeah, no, it's okay, it's okay. That's why I read the very first verse. And in vain they worship me, teaching commandments of men, not of God. So when you see some people, they teach you teachings, doctrine of men, this is a vain worshipping in God's eyes. Next one. Now I show you another totally different opposite response. I visited a family that I got to know them through the channel in year 2020. I went, so I was close by. Anyway, they invited me. We got together. It was a good group, and another one came in anyway with their kids, and we prayed together, had fellowship together, sang together, broke bread together. It was fantastic time. People totally changed it. Seriously, and just they know the Lord only 2020, like talking about 4 years. They are from Iraq, by the way. There is a lady that actually has a channel like mine from Iraq, but in their language, but they can speak also Arabic, so that's why they watch my YouTube too. They welcome you very much. All what I remember is during Corona, the husband and his firstborn son, they were called, according to their tradition, church, deacon of the altar. So they are ranked like that. And at that time, during Corona, not everyone in the church, only a small group who just make the mass and all that stuff. The wife was watching one of my episodes at that time where I was showing that offering incense before the statues and before the pictures is idol worshipping. She rang her husband. He was in the church, and she told him, what you're doing now is worshipping idols. Brother Sami is saying this and that. And believe it or not, that was like the last thing that they needed. But before that, they had long discussions with the other lady. Anyway, I wouldn't believe that change. It's really totally new creation, the whole family. The wife, the husband, and the kids. You can't believe it. And also, especially the firstborn boy, when he prayed, and the wife, oof, he wouldn't believe it. He's really totally renewed. Couldn't believe. So this is the people that say only the Bible. That's it, full stop. No more teachings and commandments of men. So, my goodness. And now 4 years. Okay. Now I tell you another one. After I visited those people, a few days later, I met a person that was for first time to meet him. He didn't know that I am like a but I already left. Anyway, but he said something that actually was a starting point. He mentioned that sometimes he watches some of the Western people, And he said, I noted the Western people, they don't have liturgy, but they are very strong in the Bible. And he said, this one is Egyptian, so Coptic Orthodox. Meanwhile, in the East, like the Coptic Church, we have liturgy, but actually we are not really that good in the Bible. I don't know, that's fine. But actually, then I kept telling him, actually, the Lord used to preach the gospel, the scriptures, referring to them. St. Paul teaches from the gospel, and even telling Timothy the same. Here we go. All right. Then he told me something. He's never been like a really deacon, but he's a newcomer to this area. So to honor him, they asked him like to go in the altar. Okay. And they taught him at the end of the mass, you know, that the tray where the body of the Urbana there, that they must like make sure if there is anything left, they call it the pearls. And a deacon must have a candle and like double checking with the priest in case there is a little bit or whatever. He pointed to him like he must eat it. Then he told me the following: that first time he pointed to something like missed by the priest in the tray. Then he told me, don't worry. When we wash it up, it will be okay. All right. Second time was a different priest in the same church. And again, he pointed something. Then the said, yeah, don't worry. He's a doctor, by the way, this man. Then he told me, then I began to ask, why if it is, you don't take my word, you teach me a job. And when I do the job, you tell me you don't have to. And there is another option that we are going to wash the tray. Then he said, why is that? So I found him like open-minded a little bit. I hope you will see this episode. I have a hope for him, but unfortunately this is very little hope. It's 1%. If we get 1% of people, that will be great. Because people go as, no, we have to take what is in there. Some people might say, so what's wrong with this, Brother Sami? Yeah, it is wrong because it is the commandment of men, as you will see from Father Athanasius Al-Makary. It is the commandment of men, and not even by a holy synod, but just someone, as you'll see, drop like a seed and will grow and will come to a huge big tree, and he stops there. But I will continue, and nobody will dare to say there is no root for this, we have to change it or take it off. Oh, no, cannot. This is the problem. And even anyone can do anything at any time. And I don't care. You know who said that? Anyway, so let's continue now with this one. So, so I hope that your reaction after you hear this clip for Father Athanasius, you think about what you actually practicing. And if they tell you, what's wrong with it? Wrong with it, it is commandments of men, teachings of men, not biblical. Full stop. All right? Because he will mention that he never mentioned the passion of Jesus without his resurrection. Biblically, normally they come together, but now we separate them. Anyway, this is not my problem. My problem is, even he will mention that there is nothing said this is the annual tune, or this is the joyful tune, and this is the sadness tune. He said all this was not there. And all this stuff, by the way, he was said, I think, in 1911. So about 113 years. That's all. But now this is so holy, no one can come nearby to touch or change anything in it. So now let's watch this clip. It's in Arabic, of course, and come back again.
وفي القرون الوسطى بدأ يظهر تعبير اللحن الحزيني، أو أن المرد الفلاني يقال بلحن الحزن، وهو ما نقرأه عند ابن سباع وابن كبر في القرنين الثالث عشر والرابع عشر للميلاد. وانتشرت مثل هذه التعبيرات انتشارا واسعا في الكنيسة بعد طباعة دلال أسبوع الآلام اللي اتطبع سنة 1920. بتذكر بيتردد فيه كثيرا تعبير اللحن الحزيني أو لحن الحزن. وعن هذا الكتاب نقلت كل الكتب التي طبعت عن صلوات البصخة المقدسة، برغم أن مخطوطات ترتيب البيعة اللي حفظت لنا طقوس صلوات البصخة المقدسة تخلو من مثل هذه التعبيرات. يعني مثلا مخطوط ترتيب البيعة برقم طقس 118 بمكتبة البطريركية بالقاهرة اللي منسوخ سنة 1911 بيخلو من تعبيرات الحزن والحزين. والطقس بيبقى زي ما يكون كده واحد يرمي بذرة في الأرض ويسيبها تنمو بعد سنين، بعد قرون، وتكبر 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 لحد ما تبقى شجرة ضخمة، زي ما احنا بنشوف دلوقتي ان تجلل الكنيسة بالسواد في أسبوع البصخة. حتى المنجلية اللي هنقرأ عليها إنجيل الإنجيل المقدس اللي هو اسمه الإنجيل إيفانجيليون، يعني بشرط الفرح، حتى المنجلية اللي بيتحط عليها الإنجيل بيلبسوها ثياب سوداء. حتى الهيكل اللي بيرمز إلى السماء يحطوا عليه ستر أسود، وعلى العمدان بتاعت الكنيسة وعلى الحيطان. حاجة بقى شيء غريب جدا. لقد تمادت التنبيهات الطقسية الواردة في بعض مخطوطاتنا اللي بتعود للقرن الستاشر الميلادي إلى حد قولها يكسى الهيكل بكسوة سوداء كده. ما هو هي بذرة اترمت وقعدت تكبر، فالهيكل يتكسي بكسوة سوداء. والكليروس في أسبوع البصخة يلبسوا بلامس سوداء، برغم أن قانون الكنيسة صريح وواضح أن ملابس الخدمة في الهيكل بيضاء. فهو بذرة صغيرة صارت تنمو 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 لحد ما وصلنا إلى هذا الشكل. الهيكل يكلل بالسواد، يعني الهيكل ده هو إذا وقفنا في هيكلك المقدس نحسب أننا قائمون في السماء. ليظل الهيكل هو السماء عينها، إزاي يتجلل بالسواد؟ والعبارة دي ليس لها وجود لا عند ابن سباع ولا عند ابن كبر، مما يعني أنها دخلت إلى الكنيسة بعد القرن الرابع عشر الميلادي. ملخص الكلام أن الكنيسة ليس بها ألحان حزيني ولا ألحان حزينة، لأن الكنيسة بيت الفرح، بيت الملائكة. حتى في يوم الجمعة العظيمة بتتسمى في مخطوطاتنا القديمة جمعة خلاصنا، يعني آلام خلاصية أفضت إلى خلاص، فالألم نتج عنه خلاص. فنبقى داخلين الكنيسة مش مكتئبين وحزانة عشان المسيح بيتألم، لكن فرحانين أن آلام المسيح خلصتنا من الموت. ففي فرق بين لحن حزيني ولحن جنائزي. مفيش حاجة اسمها لحن حزين في الكنيسة، مفيش حاجة اسمها كده. يعني مثلا لحن بيك ثرونوس اللي بيقال أثناء الدفن في الساعة 12، لو حد سمع لحن بيك ثرونوس أو اشترك فيه ما يقدرش يقول إن ده لحن حزين. ما هوش حزين، لكن هو لحن جنائزي، جنائزي يبعث على الرهبة، على الخشوع، ولكن ليس على الحزن. ده من جهة كلمة السؤال الحزيني، الطقوس الحزيني. مفيش حاجة اسمها كده في الكنيسة، دي مسميات دخلت خلسة في قرون الضعف وانتشرت في الكنيسة. احنا ما بنسموهوش أسبوع الآلام، الكنيسة القبطية لا تعرف هذه المسميات. الكنيسة القبطية بتسميه أسبوع البصخة. بصخة أي عبور من الموت إلى الحياة، لكن مش آلام، أو تسميها آلام خلاصية. أما موضوع أسبوع الآلام ده مسميات غربية دخلت إلى بعض الكنائس الشرقية وتسربت منها إلى الكنيسة القبطية، لأننا لم نعد نعي تراثنا الليتورجي القديم.
I will quickly summarize. The point is, all what is now practiced is totally wrong. And now it's already grew up and it is a huge, no one can touch it. He mentioned it is wrong to have this black stuff in the church. It is wrong for those people to wear black. It is wrong to separate the passion of Christ out of his resurrection. It is totally wrong to say, he said, there was nothing said this lahn or this, what can I say, tune is this and that. He said, no, all should be joyful ones. That's it. He said normally it was like a standard one. After a while, they say a standard and joyful one. After that, so many different tunes. And said, well, so what is this? And people fight for it, by the way. I forgot to tell you that. Oh, no. This should be like that. No. This should be like that. You fight for something not biblical, and just it is the teachings of men. All right? I hope that you watch and you make out your own mind. And take it seriously, because this is not the only thing. But when I tell you something from their own books, they wrongly, falsely attribute it to apostles, I wouldn't buy this. I wouldn't trust. Credibility now is zero. So what to do? You must be, it's up to you. All right? Thank you for your time. Pray for the peace around the world, for the safety of Jerusalem. Pray for the channel, for people to know Christ. And unless the Lord comes, we'll meet again another episode. May the Lord bless you all. Salam and